Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. Global News reports that the federal government is in talks with all provinces and territories to temporarily cut the Goods and Services Tax, GST, on new home purchases for 1 year. This initiative follows a recent agreement with Ontario to remove the 13% Harmonized Sales Tax, HST, on new homes valued up to $1 million, with a maximum rebate of $130,000 for homes up to $1.5 million. Federal Housing Minister Gregor Robertson stated that provincial governments would be expected to either contribute their own funds or introduce new legislation to support such agreements. The minister emphasized that the goal is to infuse some momentum in the market and prevent potential layoffs in the construction sector, particularly in struggling markets like Ontario and British Columbia, where low presales are anticipated to impact housing starts. Vancouver Mayor Ken Sim has already called on BC Premier David Eby to secure a similar housing deal. The Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation predicts a decline in new home construction through 2028 due to rising costs, subdued demand, and in surplus of unsold condominiums. Housing advocates in Quebec are expressing profound disappointment and a lack of hope that the province's social housing crisis will be adequately addressed anytime soon, according to the Canadian press. Non-profit organizations like Brec par Brec, which builds housing in Montreal, are struggling to secure necessary funds for new projects. Even with city-owned land available, they report that Quebec's March budget, despite prior promises, failed to deliver major investments, allocating funds for only 1,000 affordable housing units over 3 years, a figure advocates describe as woefully insufficient. Ambroise Henry of the Association des Groupes de Ressources Techniques du Quebec highlights hundreds of ready-to-go projects stalled due to public funding gaps. Major CAPRU and ACHAT estimate a need for an additional 231,000 social housing units in the next 5 years. Meanwhile, Montreal has over 12,000 people on social housing waitlists, and asking rents in the city surged by nearly 71% between 2019 and 2025. Critics like Alejandra Zaga Mendez from Quebec Solidaire called the budget irresponsible and insulting. CTV News reports that the federal government is committing $412.9 million over 5 years to renew its Pacific salmon strategy. Fisheries Minister Joanne Thompson announced the funding in North Vancouver, emphasizing the continued commitment to protect and rebuild wild Pacific salmon populations. The initiative, initially launched in 2021, focuses on collaborative efforts with the BC and Yukon governments, Indigenous peoples, harvesters, scientists, environmental and stewardship groups, and West Coast communities. These partnerships have been crucial in restoring salmon habitats, combating illegal fisheries, and modernizing or building over 70 hatcheries. Despite these efforts, challenges persist, with 24 wild Pacific salmon populations currently assessed as endangered, 10 as threatened, and 9 as being of special concern. Minister Thompson stressed that while the challenges are far from over, the renewed initiative underscores the government's dedication to securing the future of salmon for generations to come. CBS News reports that artificial intelligence is poised to dramatically alter more than half of all U.S. jobs within the next 3 years, according to an analysis by Boston Consulting Group. Researchers, including BCG Managing Director Matthew Kropp, suggest that AI is more likely to change the nature of work rather than outright replace masses of workers. However, BCG also projects that 10% to 15% of U.S. jobs could be eliminated by AI over the next 5 years. Kropp urges business leaders to prioritize augmenting workers' capabilities and reskilling their workforces. He highlights that jobs requiring physical presence or interpersonal skills, such as plumbers or therapists, are less likely to be impacted. Conversely, professions like software engineering may see increased demand due to AI reducing costs, while many call center positions could be eliminated as AI handles routine inquiries without increasing service demand proportionally. Economists also anticipate new job categories emerging, though their nature remains unclear. A new study by LendingTree, reported by CBS News, reveals that the average cost to raise a child through age 18 in the U.S. will top $300,000 for the first time in 2026, reaching an estimated $303,418 or $16,857 per year. This figure, up about 2% from a year earlier, does not include college expenses, which could add another $152,000 wide. The calculation is based on typical expenses for a couple earning the U.S. median family income of approximately $100,000, factoring in tax incentives. A CBS News poll found 77% of respondents believe it's harder to raise a family today. Costs vary significantly by location. Hawaii is projected to be the most expensive state at $412,661 by 2026, while states like Alaska, Kansas, and Montana saw increases over 20% from the previous year. Although some child-related expenses, such as infant childcare, saw a slight slowdown, the total cost now approaches the median sales price of a U.S. home. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.